This video is brought to you by
Cool Grain Clothing. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. Come on down, shop with us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you can't come and shop with us in person, go online right now at coolgrainclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way, and that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. Environment. Where we come from, the things we see every day when we walk outside usually shapes our mind and the way we view the world. In a perfect reality, we would all wake up with money in our pockets, had a big house, no poverty, and everybody could live wherever in the world they want to. But unfortunately, in the real world, we are not given those choices, and people have to make do and survive in the reality they are forced to live in. I often like talking to people from different walks of life because they ask where I'm from. I tell them Baltimore, and they instantly think addiction, crime, murder. I just smile and say it's not all bad. I love my city. They say something like, I'm glad you made it out, or they don't understand why people just don't leave. But it's not always that easy to pick up, leave everything and everybody you know, love, relocate. And for some people, they just don't have them resources or that privilege. And besides, it's bad people everywhere, in the trenches and in the suburbs. But that goes back to environment. Some places are just a little bit more active than others. It's more going on, more activity, whether legal or illegal. More people in the mix, making it easy to cross paths with individuals who might not like you for whatever reasons. Whether you just move different, talk different, figured out a way to make some money in a place they feel like is theirs, and now here comes the beef. The streets have a funny way of bringing trouble your way. You don't have to go looking for it. In certain environments, when people are on that type of time, it will come to you. And unfortunately, simple altercations or confrontations just don't play out the same in suburban America as they do on the Baltimore City block. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be taking it all the way back to 2016 to discuss the case of a confrontation on the Baltimore block that turned into a fatal ambush. Back in 2016, 33-year-old Antonio Medine was navigating life in Baltimore. The New York native, originally from Brooklyn, went by the name Powerful Mind of Law, or Powerful for short. Big on knowledge, community, positivity, culture, and education. It's not stated if Antonio was a 5%er or just a spiritual man. Also a father, he had 4 kids and believed it took a village. So he was very active in their lives and made sure they were active in the community they lived in West Baltimore, in the 1600 block of Ruston Avenue. Antonio, for the most part, got along with everybody in the area, but somewhere in the mix, he would rub a group of young men the wrong way. But Antonio still tried to navigate through it, handle his business in the community, and keep being a father to his kids. But on November 3rd, 2016, things would go left. He got up and headed to a local laundromat in the area. While there, he was talking to a few people from the neighborhood. Then, a few men who didn't like Antonio walked by. One man told the others, "There go yo right there," and walked in the laundromat and tried to convince Antonio to come outside. Feeling like it was a trap, he brushed him off, telling him, "I don't want no trouble." Then the man bopped out. But now, a group of men had Antonio's location and a drop on the man. Only 2 blocks away from home, he figured he might as well leave and go to the house before the men came back. But once Antonio came out, they were already waiting and popped out the cut. 4 men approached him, and as they were talking, soon after, multiple shots went off, and people started running, being that it was broad daylight on a busy block. Multiple witnesses called police, who responded to the area to find Antonio suffering from 2 gunshot wounds, one to the head and one to the shoulder. Police quickly realized it was 2 different caliber shell casings on the scene, and now fighting for his life, Antonio was rushed to a local hospital. One witness, who was standing across the street from the laundromat, told police a group of men kept bopping by and trying to lure Antonio outside. He wouldn't leave, so they acted like they left but ducked off in the alleyway until he came out. Then they ambushed the man. At first, it seemed like Antonio would pull through, but a few days after the incident, he unfortunately passed away from his injuries. BPD got footage from the laundromat and other stores in the area. One individual that everybody was pointing at was a 26-year-old man called Trigger. Real name, Trayvon Harrington. They stated he was one of the shooters. A month after the incident, Trayvon was arrested with a .32 caliber handgun on him that was determined to be the weapon that took Antonio's life. Also, a search of his cell phone revealed text messages and pictures of Antonio, letting Trigger know his location. At first, he was just charged as being a felon in possession of a handgun, as police felt it could be another shooter. After watching the video again, 2 more men who police was also familiar with were taken into custody, but everybody pointed to Trigger as the one who took Antonio's life. Almost a year would go by before he was officially charged with first-degree hit and conspiracy to commit a hit. As the case made its way to trial, his attorney argued the fact it was a group of men outside that day, and shots came from 2 different guns, meaning that it could have been anybody. They also claimed police couldn't at first formally charge Trayvon because they stated it was lack of evidence, and it took a whole year to indict the young man. But in the end, with surveillance footage, cell phone records, and witnesses, Trayvon was found guilty on all charges and sentenced to life all suspended for 40 years in prison. It stated the charges against the other 2 men accused might have been dropped. Rest in peace to Antonio. I send my prayers and condolences to his kids and his family. It was never stated what the issue between the men was supposed to be about, whether it was street related or just male ego. But to take a life broad daylight on a busy street, they must have felt it was worth it. It's always a lose-lose situation when a father gets taken away from their kids and another person goes to prison for decades and have to be away from their family as well. In a perfect world, we will all look at each other as brothers and sisters, be able to talk through our problems and not be so quick to pick up a gun. But unfortunately at this point, like we were talking about earlier, the environment and mindset will have us thinking if someone disrespects us or does something we don't like, it's worth taking them from their family and doing 50 years. And unfortunately, as many stories that we cover, long lives and rest in peace, we say it's a never ending cycle that hopefully one day will break. Until then, we all gotta agree, hey, that's just the Baltimore way. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace to Antonio. I definitely send my prayers to his family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all leave it in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.